Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. When I tell you I am a dark romance girly, I mean I love dark romance, okay? Love dark romance. I like dark romance, I like horror romance, I like horror erotica. I love it all. I love it all the dark, the depraved, I love it, okay? With some limits. So we're gonna talk about dark romance today. If I'm not just reading like a contemporary dark romance, then I'm usually reading some kind of like paranormal, why choose dark romance. If I'm reading fantasy, I usually prefer like a darker fantasy than anything else. But that being said, if you are a dark romance hater, and you hate dark romance and you shit on dark romance and that is not your thing, babes, this video probably isn't for you. Love you, but no thank you. Now if you personally don't read dark romance but you don't mind it, then stay. Welcome, grab a snack, all right? We're gonna chit chat a little bit. So I have some dark romance book recs that aren't Haunting Adeline, okay? If you are a Haunting Adeline hater, you're probably not gonna like this video because first off, I'm gonna rip the band-aid off, guys. I read both Haunting and Hunting Adeline. I like them. I have them on my shelves. I just wanted to get that out of the way because I feel like every time I mention anything about, oh, here are some dark romance books that aren't Haunting Adeline, or here are some dark romance books, and Haunting Adeline isn't mentioned, somebody's always in the comments like,
yes, thank goodness Haunting Adeline is in here. That book is disgusting and horrible, and how could the author, you know?
you can't see my arms, but I'm like pretending to like type on a keyboard. Anyway, so I just feel like I had to put that little like disclaimer. Okay, we're gonna keep it chill over here. Anyways, okay, let's get into it. With dark romance, I feel like it's really important to know your limits. So if you're new to dark romance and maybe you don't really read it, or you haven't read it or haven't dabbled in it but you want to, or you're curious, awesome, cool, that's great. Before we get into the book recommendations, I do want to mention that you need to be reading those trigger warnings, girl, boy, person, dude. You need to be reading those trigger warnings. They are there for a reason. They're extremely important. And if you are somebody that doesn't need trigger warnings, or you're somebody that goes into books blind, and if you come across something that you don't like or makes you uncomfortable, you just close it and you're fine and you're good to go, that's awesome for you. But that means maybe trigger warnings aren't for you, and that's fine. You do you, okay? Trigger warnings are extremely important whether you personally need them or not. That's just that, okay? You don't have to like them, you don't have to read them. If you're somebody that doesn't like them because you think they spoil the book, that's fine. That means they're not there for you, okay? But they're there for other people that need to know if certain things are going to be in a book, because they need to know whether they are safe to read that book, okay? That's all. It's not an attack on you. For whatever reason, I feel like so many people, when they're talking about trigger warnings and they're talking about, oh my gosh, they're spoilers. That's the point. Trigger warnings are spoilers, important pieces that other people need to know, especially if you're somebody that enjoys darker content. This doesn't even just go for dark romance, but it's extremely important for specifically dark romance and books that contain darker content, because some people just need to know what they're getting themselves into, and you do not have to read them. You can literally skip that page. As soon as you see the words trigger warnings, whoop, skip, cover your eyes, girl, cover your boy, person, dude, cover your eyes. To reiterate, your dislike for trigger warnings does not negate the importance of them. That's just that, and it's okay, not everything is for you. Anyways, I just wanted to mention that because I feel like this pushback that authors, specifically dark romance authors, are getting for including trigger warnings and people complaining about them, I just think it's so crazy, and I just don't understand why some people can't just be like, oh, okay, trigger warnings, I don't really need those, they're not for me, so I'm just gonna skip that page, instead of making it a whole thing like, it's a spoiler. Yes, that's the point. Baby, that's the point. Not needing a trigger warning list and being able to see content that you know you're uncomfortable with and it not affect you, that is a privilege that not everybody has. I just wanted to mention that really quick because I just don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable or feel weird about the fact that they need trigger warnings and that they also think trigger warnings are really important, because they are. Trigger warnings are great. We love trigger warnings over here in this house, okay? Coming from somebody that reads a lot of dark romance, they're very important. All right, moving on, let's get into some book recs. Okay, let's start off with, if you have maybe not read a dark romance before and you're looking to dabble and you're looking to try it, you're looking to try maybe a mafia romance or something like that, start off light, you know, nothing too crazy. I think the Alliance series by S.J. Tilly is a really good place to start. It's mafia romance and it's not really that dark, especially Nero. I personally read Nero and I really liked it. It had a plus size FMC, which is awesome. We love some plus size representation. So Nero, our MMC, literally stalks our FMC. The way that they meet is really funny, and then his like obsession with her is hilarious. He's like going in and ordering her favorite type of coffee so that he can drink it and see what it tastes like. Just know that this one leans more on the side of like insta-lust. If that's not your thing, that's totally fine, but there is insta-love, insta-lust in this book. This is a mafia romance, but I don't feel like it's very heavily mafia, because while our MMC is in the mafia, I feel like it more focuses on their relationship, you know what I mean, and how they become obsessed with each other and where that goes, things like that. I think it's a really good place to start. I did DNF the second book though, because the MMC called the FMC heavy, but then was like, oh, I'm into that or something like that. I don't know, it was odd. And I was like, you know what, I'm good with this, and I DNF'd. But I'm gonna read it again because I feel like I can read it and like it'll be fine now. But where I was when I read it, I was pissed. I was like, oh, he called her heavy and then had the nerve to be like, but I like that. Like, that just feels fetishy. But I know that that wasn't the intention. I'm gonna give it another try because I heard that the rest of the series is just so good, and I really want to get to the third book, I believe, which is Dom. I heard good things about him, alright? So I definitely do recommend starting with Nero. Still sticking with mafia romance, we also have Painted Scars by Neva Altash. I really like this one because of the disability rep. Our MMC is in a wheelchair, and it does talk about a lot how he feels really insecure about the fact that he's in the wheelchair. He thinks that everybody like looks down on him, and he's like the head of the mafia, so he's really struggling with that internally. But then our FMC literally does not care that he's in a wheelchair. It's like not even something that she's like worried about at all. And then what happens is our FMC basically strikes some kind of deal with him where she has to stay married with him for a little bit. Towards the end irked me just a little bit, but regardless, I think it was a really good read, and I feel like this is a good place to start. Also, this series is really long. I've only read book one, but I really enjoyed it, and I've heard good things about the other books. If you wanted to stick with more mafia romances to like introduce you to dark romance, I think Painted Scars is a good place to start. So I feel like it's a good quick introduction to dark romance because I feel like it's not that dark, but again, always check trigger warnings. It's more on the lighter dark end in my opinion. And then I feel like dabbling into dark rom-coms would be a really good place to start. So my camera overheated, and then I ran out of storage on my SIM card. Anyways, I don't know what I was saying. The Ruinous Love trilogy. I really think that this is a good place to start. I feel like the humor in these books takes a little bit away from how dark they are and how dark the content is within them. To be real, if I'm being real, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think they're that dark. I feel like maybe book one a little bit more dark. Book two, definitely not. I feel like book two is definitely not as dark as book one was, but even book one, I felt like it was really just funny. Both really good. Both good places to start. Book one follows two serial unalivers who meet, decide that they are both going to essentially compete in a little competition that once a year they are going to get the same target, and whoever unalives them first wins. Basically, Rowan comes up with this idea because he wants to keep seeing Sloane. So yeah, it's cute. Second book is about Sloane's best friend Lark and Rowan's brother Lachlan. Oh wow, I love Sloane, don't get me wrong, but Lark, she's that bitch. Lark is that bitch. I love her. And Lachlan, oh what a man. Oh, he is such a man. This one is a marriage of convenience, so he is my wife, okay? And then if you want to stick with like the dark rom-coms with like serial unalivers, then I would definitely recommend Sinner's Retreat by Lauren Beale. This book is so good and so underrated. I feel like nobody talks about this book, and it is so fun. Similar theme in the sense where it's a dark rom-com and it's about two serial unalivers, but except they do meet on a plane, but they're both on their way to Sinner's Retreat, which is a retreat for serial unalivers, and there's a bunch of like serial unaliving games and stuff like that. This book follows Ezra and Kendra. Kendra is only technically going to Sinner's Retreat because she's looking for the person that unalived her brother. Things get complicated and hilarious. Ezra is literally a giant puppy. He is so cute. He is very much a golden retriever, a serial unaliving crazy golden retriever, and he becomes obsessed with Kendra, and I just really love them. This book doesn't get enough hype. I really enjoyed it. It was so good. I feel like if you're still riding the high of the Ruinous Love trilogy, if you've already read that, then I feel like you should definitely go into this. There is a second book already out, I believe. Sinner's Retreat is book one, Sleigh Ride is book two, and Ship Happens is book three. I haven't read the second two books, but the first one is really good. Okay, moving into some darker books, okay? Now, if you've already dabbled in the light stuff and you're like, no, I want something dark, okay, then I would recommend In the Shadows by J.A. Ownby. Oh my gosh, this one, I forgot when I read this. I don't know if it was last year or the year before that, but I remember it being one of my top reads of the year. The plot is so good. You're gonna be literally questioning things. You're gonna be trying to put the pieces together yourself and figure out what the heck is going on and who is this person and where are they coming from and who's doing this. It's a mind fuck. It's so good though. Oh my gosh, I love it. It was amazing. This one is another stalker romance, but this one is darker. The plot is just so good, but also super exciting. It's going to be coming to Barnes & Nobles and other sellers in October, actually October 14th. So you will be able to actually pick this one up in stores in October, which is awesome. And I don't even want to give too much away because even when you read the blurb doesn't give much away except for the fact that we know our FMC is being stalked and it gets very intense. I really recommend this one. Sticking with the mafia and crime and things like that, if you want another really good one, Creed by Nadia Ray. Oh, this one's good. I loved Creed and Sloane so much. Sloane is our FMC. She is a therapist. She ends up meeting Creed on an elevator when she's at a conference. They end up meeting. They have a little fun, a little one-night stand, and Creed ends up not being able to stop thinking about her. So what does he do? He does in fact show up at her work. Yeah, we see that Creed is really struggling, not only with the fact that he really does want Sloane, but also things with his family. And being the head of a crime family, I'm sure you can imagine how difficult that might be. Okay, this book was really, really good, and it's actually quite quick. I definitely do recommend this one. I loved Sloane and I loved Creed so much. And again, sticking with mafia, crime family, things like that, we have the Diarco Mafia duet. This one is another one that I feel like nobody talks about, but it's actually so good. I think I actually talked about this book in my January wrap-up. This book follows our FMC, who her younger sister ends up going missing, and she's trying to do whatever it takes to find her sister. She ends up trying to look for information everywhere, which leads her to be working at a brothel. She ends up meeting a mafia boss there, and they low-key hit it off, and he ends up offering her a job to work for him as like his in-house worker for him. Things get like really interesting because our FMC is very headstrong. She is very much like, I'm gonna do anything to get information on my sister, literally anything, even if it means sneaking around and seeing what you guys are doing behind closed doors, which ends up putting her in some trouble. It's good. It's very good. This one is who I choose between our FMC, a mafia boss, his bodyguard, and their enforcer. I really enjoyed this one. And with this one, our FMC is also a plus-size curvy girl and is a badass, okay? Loved her. Then we have Graves by Caitlin Taylor. This book follows our FMC, who ends up being entangled with a set of twins. What happens when the crazy obsessed twin sees her first and immediately claims her? He's like, yeah, that's my woman, okay? Yeah, he's like knocked out on the streets, sees her for the first time walking by, and he's like, that's mine. That's my angel. That's my angel. That's my baby. I love her. And when something happens to him and he ends up having to go away for a while, he tells his brother, yeah, keep an eye on her, okay? But don't go near her. And things get complicated, okay? So this one was dark and was crazy. You have been warned. If you're looking for something that is more plot heavy, I would definitely recommend the Hollows Road trilogy by Trisha Wolfe. This one follows our FMC, who is a criminologist, who ends up having to work with a criminal. Yeah, to solve a case, and things get complicated between them. This one is crazy. The plot is so good. I definitely recommend the audiobooks for these. And I'm gonna pause here, guys, because I feel like I went through a lot, and I feel like I gave you guys enough to kind of dabble in. I really enjoy dark romance, and I really love reading new dark romances. If you have any new dark romances that you want me to read, definitely let me know. I'm always looking for new ones. I am thinking about doing a reading vlog for new dark romances or dark romances that I've never read before, or like the darkest books I've ever read, something like that. I want to read new dark romances soon, but I do have more recs if you guys want more. But that's it. I love you guys, and I will see you on Friday.